If anyone knows anything about this shipwreck, I'd love to know.
This is what happens when we don't have to steer the boat. He's lost the plot. What happened last night?
The mountain of delicious battered trout.
Pretty sad to be leaving the Percy's today, but yeah, time to move on. It's always hard to pull ourselves away from nice places like this, but we've got the weather, so that sort of dictates it for us. So anyway, we're off to Digby Island, I think, unless the weather changes.
It was time to head north to pick up our new autopilot that was waiting for us in Early Beach. With just the two of us sharing the steering duties, we broke up our trip into shorter day hops to keep us sane.
Alright. Yeah, you go around that bombing, yeah.
Also, due to the tidal flow in this area, you really want to time your trips so you have the tide running with you.
Just coming into Digby Island now. It's pretty rough here. It's almost like a little bar crossing. Quite a lot of current. See the mess of our main, dropping it quickly.
Like I mentioned, the tides here are huge, and you get these things called overfalls, and in rough weather these can act like small bar crossings. The overfalls here at Digby Island were so big that you can actually see them here on the drone shot. This shows you just how much water movement there is around this part of the world.
Ooh. This is a treacherous beach to walk on. It's like walking on broken tiles. Somebody didn't make it.
Pretty cool.
What's happening there, Captain?
Inside Digby Island, there's a shipwreck. The whole beach is just covered with everything. Like boardies, pants, tools, a sink over there.
Toilet.
Toilet. Look at the little solar controller on there. If anyone knows anything about this shipwreck, I'd love to know.
What you got there, Michael?
A replacement barbecue pan for our one that
What happened?
spewed it out on the way to Musgrave.
On the way back from Musgrave.
Our Magma barbecue is like a clamshell barbecue, and on the way there it tilted forward with the swell and just went bah, and a $100 thick cast iron plate fell out, but I found a little replacement.
That'll do.
Do for now. Good frisbee too.
Oh, pick it up on the way back.
Yep.
Yay.
Mega lead off this shipwreck. Okay, that's probably like, oh man, 40 kilos
I reckon
each.
that one's 40 easy, that big one.
Yeah.
And then there's some left on the keel over there.
Oh, that's like crazy heavy.
It's nuts. And then this bit is huge. There's the old engine block. Nice stainless steel hose clamp there. And here's the keel. And this is another bit.
Like double. That's probably like
of
80
lead,
kilos.
double. Pretty cool. We're going to go and see how much lead's worth per kilo in Mackay and see if we can salvage it.
It's crazy. Imagine that. You just go in and it pays for the marina. 2 nights at the marina.
I'd rather it pay for a spinner car.
Just left Digby. We had an internal battle with, found 200 kilos of lead on the beach, and we were thinking about cashing it in, cashing for scrap, and I had to climb, bush bash through waist deep shrubs and scratchy things to the top of the island to call the metal recyclers. anyway, so we decided to scrap it, excuse the pun, and we're heading to Scawfell. And the autopilot's actually working.
I was going to say, who's driving the boat?
Which is pretty good. So we're kind of on a broad reach doing about 5 to 6 knots, and just went to make breakfast. And all Jesse's muffins are gone mouldy.
Mouldy muffins.
So they're like those little, what do you call them? Clay pigeons. Pull! Pull!
He's lost the, this is what happens when we don't. This is what happens when we don't have to steer the boat. He's lost the plot.
It'd be so fun to shoot these. Pull!
Leaving a breadcrumb trail. Surfing down these waves at like 10 knots. I just took the autopilot off and started hand steering because it just couldn't handle it anymore. As soon as I sat down in the helm, this whale just kicked up its tail. I was like, oh, so lucky.
He almost ran into one whale, and now she's on a collision course with a 290 metre ship.
That is a big boat.
So we'll just check it out on the AIS. What we do when we see one coming to make sure that it's all good. So to check it, that's us there. I just click on that AIS. The boat's name is HL Port Headland. Cargo ship, 292 metres long. 292 metres long, 45 metres wide, 2.6 nautical miles away. Closest point of approach on this course and speed will be 0.9 nautical miles. We'll pass each other, and that will be in 8 minutes. So yeah, they're doing 16 knots, so we'll be fine. 1 nautical mile away, that's pretty good. Pretty amazing seeing something that big move that fast, even though it is slow for those boats. Doing 16 knots, I don't know how many gigatons.
Scawfell Island stands at almost 400 metres high. In fact, it's so tall, it seems to generate its own weather system. We sat here for hours watching the clouds whirl around the peak and the strong wind gusts, known as bullets, rush down the mountain and blow us around like a leaf. This anchorage is notorious for the strong wind bullets that rush down into the calm anchorage every 20 minutes or so, and it can really catch you out in an instant, so it's a sort of place where you need to triple peg everything.
How tired are you?
Pretty tired.
What happened last night?
We had the infamous beehive slapping on the hull. The marine parks.
Queensland Marine
Parks moorings. Everyone hates them because they bang against the hull and we said, oh, we'll be right. And of course, it wasn't until after we got back and had a shower, and after being on it all day, it was bang, 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 bang.
These queenfish and trevally weren't our primary target, but they're certainly fine to eat. They tend to respond well to noise and movement, as you can see and hear in this clip. Finding a hotspot like this where predators are hunting is a great place to hang out, as there's a good chance a yummy mackerel or other reef species will also turn up. I wasted no time securing this healthy coral trout.
Nice little trout for dinner, or lunch I should say. I think we'll eat that today. Going boating for Michael. There's a massive murder race just come out of the boat. Oh no.
Shot it in like 20 queenies, just like, well, not 20, but
What is that? Trout.
50
Brown.
queenies just, yeah, it's right on the top. Just swarmed me. It's such a cool little spot here, this quarter. One of those big, it's one of those big tasseled bobby gongs there.
It was a pretty tricky spot to dive here. Usually when there's a current, we just take turns towing the tender, but with the strong bullets, this was impossible, as it would be calm 1 minute and absolute chaos the next.
Don't miss the bullet. Weird, eh? Yeah. Yeah. having a hankering for a naughty meal, so I'm going to cook my batter that I've been perfecting over the last year. Done it about 6 times now, and I've just tweaked it each time, tweaked it a little bit more salt, a little bit less this, you know, blah blah blah. And I think we've got it down pretty good, so I'm going to share it with you guys now.
My heart's hurting at the thought of the amount of salt you've got in that. It seems like a lot of salt.
It's fine. It's really good. It's super crunchy. Yeah, like I said, we've done this a lot of times now. I've made this probably 6 or 7 times, and it's been a little bit off each time, but now I've got it down to this really nice crunchy batter. You don't. It's a beer batter, but you don't. You know, you're not using beer. You're using soda water. I'll just run you through the ingredients. Super easy to make. Yeah, definitely not healthy, but you know, you got to spoil yourself sometimes.
Which is pretty much every time we cook.
Every time I cook,
show.
because we take turns cooking, so it's my day is the naughty day.
That day.
So, okay, can you see that all right? So what you need for the batter is 2 tablespoons of tapioca or corn flour. So I put that in first, and then I fill the rest up with just regular flour. So that's what we got there. And then mixing into that flour, we have the herbs and spices.
Michael's secret herbs.
So we have 1 tablespoon of paprika, 2 tablespoons of baking powder, 1 tablespoon of salt.
That seems like a lot.
It's fine in the mix.
Right.
This is what you've eaten every time.
Alright.
Garlic powder, 1 tablespoon, and then about half a tablespoon of crushed black pepper. And that's just a bit of flour that's fallen in with that, so ignore that colour. And then we just got here, I'm going to make a little tartare sauce, which is just a bit of garlic aioli. I'm going to put a few capers in there, and just a chopped gherkin, 1 chopped gherkin, a bit of lemon. And then we have the coral trout here that we're going to use. Great fish for battering, nice firm white flesh, no fishy flavour, easy to fillet, fun to shoot, perfect.
Secret tips for frying, Michael?
So we like to use rice bran oil. So it's a flavourless oil. It's actually better for you than vegetable oil. It's got a high smoke point, so you can really crank the heat up and it doesn't smoke too early like olive oil or anything like that. So what I like to do is I mix the flour and the spices, and then I add a quarter. So I like to mix.
What the? Did you just smell something?
No, I was looking at how much I have there. So, should I just film this bit?
You're a mess.
Yeah. Yeah, good?
Yeah, good.
You filming this?
Yep.
Okay, so I just bung the flour into a bowl there. Then add the spices and everything in there.
Yum.
That looks good. And then what I like to do is I get a quarter cup of milk, put it into a cup there, and then the rest of it, icy cold soda water. Really has to be cold, that's important.
That's been fizzed?
Yep, been fizzed.
Fizzed.
So you've got the batter there, you got your quarter cup of milk and 3/4 cup of icy cold soda water. Bung it in.
By this stage of the trip, we were pretty much surviving on protein and carbs. We'd well and truly run out of fresh stuff, but who cares in a place like this?
Let's see how many times it takes Michael to light this stove.
Fuck, I hate this stove. Jessie's she's holding back on some secrets here on how to keep this thing lit.
Don't swear.
She's holding back. She knows some secret stove lighting trick that I just can't master.
That is such a man whisk there. Look, just how like rough you are holding that.
That's a nice consistency there. It's flour.
Ooh, spicy. Oh.
Alright, so that's the batter there, sorted. Put that aside while that heats up. Make the aioli now.
So Michael's a bit of a fry master. I suck at frying because I don't really like eating too much fried stuff.
Soft
for those of us that don't really fry much, what are some tips for people that want to deep fry stuff?
Make sure the oil's hot enough, definitely. If you put stuff in the pan when it's not hot enough, the batter or whatever you're frying just soaks up the oil, and then it's just really oily, doesn't get crispy, it gets a bit gluggy.
I always get in trouble for doing that.
And don't overcrowd the pan, that's the biggest thing. If you put too much in, it just creates like a steam, and you end up steaming it in oil, and it's the same thing, soggy, gross. Don't get greedy.
So what are you making there?
So this is just the tartare I'm making. It's just like a, no set recipe. It's basically a bit of mayo or garlic mayo, a bit of garlic, but that's just
out of the jar.
That's just aioli out of the jar. Just gonna put some 1 gherkin in there and some capers and a bit of lemon juice. Mix it all up, nice and chunky. It's really yummy. So just chop them up a little bit and bung them in. Tiny bit of lemon juice.
How good is this anchorage here at Scawfell?
Really nice moorings, super high cliffs, like heaps of bullets coming down, but the moorings are solid, so you don't have to worry about it. And fish, lots of trout. And
so many people
nice
warned
diving.
us off coming here because they're like, oh, the bullets are really bad, blah, 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 but it's been like 25 knots, I think, and it's not even that bad. As long as you're in the right bay for the right direction, it's fine. We're loving it here. It's so beautiful. It's like Jurassic Park, isn't it?
Yeah, and nice diving.
Beautiful diving.
Throw the fish in there like this.
We actually had an extra trout last night. We took some over to our neighbours on the other mooring and gave them some trout. And this morning they came back with some fresh
veggies.
Fruit and veg. Or just fruit, but so good because that's just extended our stay even longer. Because it's been about 6 weeks since we've been at the shops, I think.
So when you're testing the oil, you just want to see that? She's ready. If it doesn't sizzle or bubble, it's not ready. And remember, do not overcrowd it.
So how long will those chunks take roughly?
Oh, not
It's
too
pretty
long.
big.
A minute, couple of
What?
minutes.
That's it?
Yeah, couple of minutes, I reckon.
Wow.
You just wait till that batter goes golden brown. It's already kind of pretty brown because of the paprika. So I put 3 or 4 pieces in that pot, and that's it. You could fit more in there, but then you're starting getting to steam country. Oh man, I'm excited.
Is that seriously all cooked?
That's it. That was like 10 minutes.
Not even.
So that is it. The mountain of delicious battered trout. Look at it, it's like a piece of KFC.
Alright,
And then the
taste test. Bring it up here.
listen, can you hear that? Crunchy. Bit of lemon, whack them on,
Bung it on.
bung them on, and that's it.
Gonna give it a go?
Diet starts never. Bit of lemon, bit of tartare on top.
Where's the rest of the meal, Michael?
This is it.
Where's the healthy stuff?
Yeah, lemons. You got some.
That's
you
Michael's standard
And
meal.
you got cucumber in here in the sauce.
I've
Oh man.
got half an avocado.
Look at that. Look at those flakes.
Show me. That does look good.
But seriously, it's just like,
Not too salty?
no, not at all. We didn't add any extra salt or anything afterwards. It's all in the batter, which is not how I usually cook, but this is like down to a fine measurement. So, cheers.
Alright,
Get
I'm
into
gonna try
it.
some.
Just mucking around with an avocado. I don't know.
Well, so I need greens somehow, and this was one of the gifts
There's
from our
capers
neighbours,
and
so-
gherkins in there. She needs greens.
Yeah.
Alright, go on.
That's not salty. I'm surprised. That seemed like a lot of salt that you put in there.
Hardly, but you think about how much it's been
Yeah.
diluted.
That's really yum.
It's
good job.
the best one I've done.
That is the best one you've done. It's so crunchy and light. It's not oily, at all. I hate oily food, which is why I don't fry much. That's crunchy, light, perfect. You've done a really good job there.
Oh, well, what do you reckon?
Good.
Call it there.
Really good, and I'm excited that we're going to have some left over for fish wraps tomorrow too, because this is amazing cold. And
you reckon we'll have some left over?
I sure hope so.
I don't know.
But yeah, we'll leave it there, I think, and I'm going to get stuck into this. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and give us a share on your Facebook and Instagram. Cheers, guys.
If you'd like to further support our productions, be sure to check out our Patreon page for bonus episodes, updates and perks. As always, a huge thank you to our current patrons and to Lisa, Heidi and Jacob for upping your pledge. Cheers everyone.
So that's what we got there. Regular flour with 2 tablespoons of...
That's confusing. Why do you say 1 cup of flour and 2...
Yeah, okay. Go again. So we've got coral trout here for the actual fish we're going to use.
No, that's mackerel.
Huh?